the exam starting from 2nd of January next year. There is 50% of the question is from different set of books.
Oh, is that mean that more difficult?
I don't know. Nobody know about the question yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, after the starting from the 2nd of January next year, because of COVID, they delay for another half a year.
Yeah, sure.
Those who are going to take the exam, it will be, they need to read at least a couple of books for them to pass the exam.
Yeah. So now you are talking from the which country?
I'm from Malaysia.
Out of Malaysia. Oh, that's nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, people start coming in.
Yep.
So after we finish this seminar, we can apply PDU.
Yes, I will guide you how to apply PDU.
Yeah. Okay, please. So,
So
how
you
many
have to
hours?
stay until the last day. You have to stay until the last slide.
Oh yeah, sure. So how many hour cover?
We will cover only 1 hour.
Oh, 1 hour. Oh yeah. Okay.
So you can see on the screen that I share on the top right, you will see that that is a PDU.
Okay.
Yep.
So your presentation is about 1 hour?
Yes, my presentation is about 1 hour.
Okay.
So let's wait for another few more minutes. No. How long should we wait?
Only 2 more minutes. I will start the introduction at 7:05.
Okay.
I think this morning we have electricity cat in the city, Yangon City. Maybe it might affect.
Okay. No problem. Hey, I thought I saw a familiar name. I can see at least 2 people are using the phone.
Yes, because I choose the function. All people with the link can log in.
Yeah, no problem.
So for them to be easier access to this webinar. Okay, since the 7:05, let's start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly webinar. My name is Nunuto, and I'm the business developer at the Myanmar Project Management Center, who is the leading education provider of we are giving the project management related courses in Myanmar. So today we are presenting the webinar regarding about the identified risks in a VUCA world. Before we start, I would like to share a few tips regarding about our webinar. So this webinar will be a little bit different from our previous webinar, which we will be using the Mentimeter for our chat session, and then the TV will allow you to have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So you can discuss closely on the Mentimeter instead of the chat box. And also, if you have anything to be asked or need the support, please use the raise and hand function, and I will be there assist you throughout this webinar as well. And then also part of the presentation. So in there also you can freely discuss among each group, and then also like we will be the interactive among this webinar. So without further ado, let's welcome. Allow me to introduce Mr. David Khaw, organization and project management principal coach, and then the consultant who is working closely with the Project Management Institute and contributing to PMI Malaysia chapter. David, hi. So stage is yours.
Thank you, Nono. Good evening to all of you. Actually, this is my first session with all of you. Thank you for joining this webinar. Before I start, let's do some ice breaking. Is it okay? What I need from you is that if you have a secondary device, either another smartphone or smartphone that you have, I'd like to invite you to open your smartphone or a secondary device that you have, open your browser, and then go to a website called menti.com. Menti.com, and then if you are in the menti.com, you just need to key in the code 1665775. So let me go to share another screen. Let me show you how you can do that again. What you need to do is that you go to your secondary device, either smartphone, anything. Open your browser, then go to www.menti.com and type in the code 1665775. Okay, are y'all in? If you're in, is it possible that for y'all to give me a time in your reactions, so that I can see whether that you're already enter? Okay, I can see a few people's already managed to go in. Great. So so let's ask first questions. Sorry, some technical issue here. My slide refused to move. Let me reset a bit. That is the problem, right? When we are trying to do something and something is not really happen. That is the problem with the risk.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm
you hear
sorry,
me?
I'm part-time already.
No problem. Okay, let me skip this one for a while. First of all, I'd just like to engage a bit from all of you. If it's possible that you go to the chat box, can you try to type in where do you come from? Which city are you come from? Which city are you come from? If you can go to your chat box and type what city are you come from. So that I know that you are from which city. Okay, I can see somebody from Singapore, Yangon. Thank you. What city are you come from? Let me introduce myself a bit. I actually come from Malaysia. I in a state called Selangor. I basically grew up here, and my workplace all here. Okay, sorry, my Mentimeter is up. If you look at your Mentimeter, you should be able to see from your screen. You can type in your answer there right now from your phone. Which city are you come from? Thank you. I can see most of you are from Yangon. Thank you. Okay. Great. Let me share my screen again because there is some problem. I don't know why. Now you can see. So far, I have most of people come from Yangon, and from the chat I can see somebody from Singapore. That's great. So those who are just joined, please use your smartphone or your secondary device, log on to the browser, and key in www.menti.com and key in the code 166575, and then you will able to start to interact with me through Mentimeters. Thank you. I can see most of you come from Yangon. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next questions. Are you a project management practitioner? I'd like to know, are you a project management practitioner? If you are unable to participate in the Mentimeter, you can also answer the question in the chat group so that we also can see. Are you a project management practitioner? Great. When I say project management practitioner, means that you are either a project manager, program managers, project portfolio manager, PMO, team members, or you can be also like me, project management trainers or a project management coach. Okay, this is now the trends going. Great, we have about 14 people respond to me. Thank you. Wow, we have about 8 people project management practitioner. 5 is not, and 3 maybe. Don't know, right? You don't know whether you are be part of the project management or not. Good.
Yes, I work for our government. Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay, so I work for the Mandalay city. Did you know the Mandalay city is the middle of the Myanmar?
Okay.
Yes, I work for the MCDC. MCDC means Mandalay City Development Committee, and I work for the Water and Sanitation Department.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, my next questions. Since we are all in the COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm going to use COVID-19 a lot in these sessions. Tell me, how do you feel about the pandemic right now? Just give me a word, one word will do. How do you feel about COVID-19 pandemic now? So if you key in your phone, you were able to your answer will be reflect onto my screen. Yes, somebody are actually staying at home learning. Great. How about others? Doing something interesting? Great. So boring.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Risky. Okay. Yep. Fear, uncertain. Definitely, these are something that we are all
Sorry, our connection.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so uncertainty, so boring, adapt the new normal. Yep, more productive. Well, that's
Okay, do you
something
hear me?
interesting.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, now I was stayed at home because COVID-19 is the very dangerous by us.
No problem.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Now our family stayed in our home.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Wow, I can see a lot of boring, definitely. That's why I think that's the best time for us when you are in these lockdown sessions. It's time to go to log on to something and start to learn more about the things. Definitely, for me myself, during this pandemic, I actually use this time to reflect myself. What should I do to my life, my works? Okay, so that is normally. So I like to thank you for your contributions. A lot of words. Thank you. But I also like to use to stay on with these Mentimeters, because if you have any questions you like to ask me throughout these sessions, I like you to post your questions into the Mentimeters. Actually, in your Mentimeter, you can on the bottom you can see there is a question button, and if you click on it, you can type the questions, and then you can ask me from there, and I will respond to your question at the end of the session. Okay, so let's go to the topic then. Okay, so let me introduce a little bit about myself, which Nono has been thanks Nono to introduce me, but I also like to share a bit something that I'm not published either in my LinkedIn or in my profile. A part of I'm a trainer, I'm a coach in the project management. Actually, I myself I'm also an entrepreneur. I basically help people solving the project management and also training and coaching. So what happened is last year, end of last year, I did how to say, I did plan for this year 2020. May I know how our view, if you do develop plan for 2020, can you give me a thumbs up in the reaction? How many of you actually did a plan for 2020 last year? Can you show a thumbs if you do a plan for 2020? Okay, I can see some of you are actually do develop a plan. I myself, I also developed some plan for 2020. Especially, I come out with the new products to interact with my my customers, telling them that something that I developed for to help them to solve their project management issue. But I think all of you know what's happening, right? Starting from January, news has started to come out from China saying that there is a new virus outbreak, right? And Malaysia during the end of January, we start to have this case appear in Malaysia, and people start to worry about the virus spreading. And because of that, my whole business plan has been just put into the halt, and I cannot move forward. So that is what happening to me right now. I think most of you also having this issue, not just me, but everybody is having this issue. So I feel that this is a good chance to talk about the topic about VUCA. But question is, what is VUCA? A lot of people actually asking me what is VUCA? Why VUCA are so great now? Actually, VUCA was started. VUCA is acronym, okay, and I will going to explain later. But VUCA was actually started back in 90s, in the 1990s, 80s, 90s time frame, where the U.S. military they have discovered that a risk is not just happen between them and within the U.S. Army and the enemy, but it's also impact of the environment. So they say the environment can play a very key role in the risk. So they have identified the 4 types of environment that can impact into a risk. So the first thing that they have they mentioned is volatility. What do you mean by volatility? Volatility means that the thing constant change. Either you like it or not, as we all believe, only thing that is not changing is change itself. So everything is keep changing. But how fast is it change? How do we change? Right? That is something that we have no idea. So like what happened a month ago, I believe that some of you should know, in the US oil, right? In the US oil, what happened is that seller are actually paying the buyers to buy the oil. That's what happened in a month ago, where the oil price dropped below $0. In fact, it reached about $37, negative $37. So that is a surprise to a lot of oil players, and in fact, it's actually impact to the economy. That's why the worlds are now very volatile, because due to the COVID-19, things change drastically. So first thing is that they identify is a volatile. Second thing is uncertainty. Uncertainty is that we cannot see what is in the future. We have no idea what is going to happen in the near future or in the long term. So that is where the uncertainty is all about. So example, as you know, now COVID-19 is outbreak all around the world. Every single country, territory, or location are actually impacted by COVID-19. Until the vaccine is out, no one is safe. Everybody will get impacted. But the question is when the vaccine come out. So far in the news has saying that all the vaccine that is developed all fail. So now we have no idea when the vaccine coming out. So this is what we call uncertainty in our life. The next thing is a complexity. Complexity is that the thing is getting so difficult, so complex, where we are moving to a world of globalizations. And when we do dealing with business and everything, we need to know about others cultures, others people's law, and so on and so forth. So a lot of things is making the way that we do business, the way that we manage a project is getting more and more complex. In this case, COVID-19, what happening is that in Malaysia, we have now what happened in Malaysia is that we are having a movement control order MCO, we call it in the short term. It means that if we want to go out, we only can allow to go out if it's necessary. Okay, if we go out unnecessary, we will get caught. Okay, and then even that you want to start the business, you need to do a lot of things, and a lot of process SOP are still not clear. So things is getting complex. I believe that this is the same thing that is going to happen in everywhere around the world, especially in Myanmar also. So I believe this is something that is getting complex. That's what the complex mean. And lastly, in VUCA is ambiguity. What ambiguity means is that you can see what you want to do, but you have a lot of questions about the method, and you have no idea what is going to happen because of this ambiguity. Like example, now more and more countries are now start to open up their economy, their society after the lockdown or the control movement. But a lot of people still worry, if now everybody start to open, is it going to get infected or not? Am I going to get infected? Is the virus still out there? How are we going to protect ourselves? Is government do enough measurement to safeguard the people? So a lot of questions about this ambiguity. That's where this VUCA all about. So these 4 environment U.S. Army has been identified in the risk, and definitely there's something that in our project we also want to consider. So let's stop here for a while, and I want to move on to another activities with you. If you can use annotation features in Zoom, you can actually type something onto my wall. Okay, the feature is there. If you can click on annotate, you can actually click on my. You can type, or you can type something on my screen. Okay, so I have a question to all of you. What are the elements needed to start a fire? What are the elements needed to start the fire? If you can annotate and choose the word, choose the function called text, actually you can type something onto my screen and everybody can see. Can you start to type what is the 3 elements? 3 elements, actually there is 3 to start the fire. Okay, I can see somebody typing onto the chat. O2. Okay. Yes. You can draw, but if you can choose a text, you can type words. Okay. I can see somebody type gas, match, wood, oxygen. Good. And on my screen, I can see people are typing air, heat. Okay. Object. Great. Any more answer? Okay, let me review the answer. Actually, there is 3 elements. So I saw somebody type the 2 stone. No, it's not. It's nothing to do with stone. The first thing that you need to have is air. Okay, air. It's not particular oxygen. As long there is O there, you actually is already able to burn. So it's not just oxygen. Oxygen is O2, but even there's O or O3, is actually can be you can burn. The second thing is that you need is fuel. When I say fuel, is about wood, charcoal, petrol, paper. All these are fuel. These are something that you can use to burn. And lastly is, yes, correct. Somebody actually guessed it, is heat. You need to have a heat to start a fire. So these are three elements for you to start a fire. If you want to put out a fire, you just need to take away one of these three elements. The fire will gone, or you will not, or the fire will not happen. So these are three elements. But why I asking this question? The reason why I ask this question is that it's the same for risk. In fact, risk also the same, where you need to have there is three factors for you to consider as a risk. So before I review the answer, I want to be very clear what is risk. Risk is something that is not yet happened. Okay, first thing you have to those who are not project managers, or is not the project management practitioner, or not the risk practitioner. Risk is something in future. It's not yet happened. If it's happened, it's called event. And when it's happened, it will impact either positively or negatively to the objective. Okay, it can be either positively or negatively impacted to the objective. So that is the risk. So there must be three factors for you to consider before it categorized as a risk. So the first thing is a domain. Okay, if you want to identify a risk, first thing you need to identify what domain that risk is, right? You can say that the domain about let's say that in now is COVID-19, right? The domain is my health, right? My health, or it can be my safety, correct? So that is a domain. Then you must know what kind of environments. Okay, in which kind of environment. So just now we have described there's a 4 type of environment. There is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, or ambiguity. So there is a 4 type of environment. Which environment are you in when you talk about that particular risk? And when you talk about that risk, you also need to know what conditions are you in, right? What condition are you in? So I'm going to give a example. So I'm going to use as a business domain, okay? Because most of us are in the business, we're going to talk about the business. I'm not going to talk about the military risk. I'm not going to talk about the scientific risk, okay? I'm only going to focus on the business risk in my presentation. So that is domain, environment, and conditions, okay? So in business domain, we normally have these 6 categories. First is politics. When we talk about the politics, it's about the people who are supporting you and the people who are resist you. So these are the risks will happen either in the office or in the country or in anywhere. So the first type of domain is politics. Second type is economy, because we all know that in this world everything is limited, right? Everything is limited. So when things is limited, then there is a risk, correct? So we want to know about that particular risk on the economy. Social, we all live in the different world. We have our own belief, we have our own culture, we have our own thinking, values. In fact, we also living in the world of safety. We need to know about our safety. We need to know our security, and we need to know about our health. So all is about social. Then technology. What kind of technique What kind of tools are you using? What kind of platform are you using in this business? So that is another risk about that. Legal, country law, local laws, business rules and regulations, industry norms, industry standards, guideline, policies, all these are legal. And the last one is the environmental. We are mostly talking about like the earthquake, tsunami, climate change, right? The electricity, all these are environmental. So I'm already talked about the environment. There's a 4-type environment: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. But when it comes to the condition, we are mostly talking about what strength do you have during that particular domain or environment. Okay, what kind of weakness that do you have? Opportunity, and lastly, threat. So this is the three factors that when you are doing a risk analysis and you are doing the risk identifications, these are the three factors you need to consider before you can conclude there is a risk. So how do you do that? A lot of people, definitely when we as a project manager, when we go into doing a project, either it's a country level project or in a corporate project or even our individual family projects, we always need to do a risk assessment, right? And risk assessment is always a constant thing. From the beginning of the project until the end of the project, we are constantly identify risk, correct? So when we do that, we are constantly asking ourselves a question. So this is the questions that normally, for me, I practice when I constantly do my risk identification. So I give you some sample questions that for the domain. So first thing that you can ask is that, what are your concerns about the project? What are the concerns about the projects that or the activities? If you can answer the questions, then you will roughly know that which category that are you associate with. What are the potential effect onto the projects or activities? Okay. What are the potential impact from the project? So this is the three questions that you can ask about the domain. Then you can start to associate to which domain of the business domain. Sample of the critical environment question is that I normally use is that, what is the potential environment if the events happen? What is the potential environment if the event happen? Okay, and the most critical is that once we have the concern that we have, or the effect or the impact that we identify in which environment, then we were able to ask ourselves this question: what is your strength if the event happened during this environment? What is your weakness if the event happened during this environment? What are the potential opportunities if the event happened during this environment? And the last one is, what are the potential threats if the event happened during this environment? So 3 set of questions. The set of questions is for you to ask. Either you ask yourself, or you can ask your stakeholders. You can ask your team members. You can ask your subject matter expert. the questions when you are start to execute your projects or you are start to do some work in your company. And this is the a set of questions that you can ask, and then you will start to aware. So these 3 questions I pose to you. So now I want you all to go into the room. I'm going to break you into a small group of room. We have about 23. Is it okay? No. Is it okay that we split them into 5 groups? Each group with 4 person.
Yeah. Okay, can.
So we have about 20, 21 like that. What I like to invite the people that go into the breakout room is that what you can do is that one person ask another person these simple 3 questions based on this topic. Okay, post COVID-19 pandemic, the risk on your career. Okay, risk on your career. You just need to ask yourself simple this question. What concerns do you have during the COVID-19 on your career? Okay, then somebody will answer. Okay, then you ask a second question is in what kind of environment that your event may happen. Okay, so you will say that, or maybe I'm not sure what is going to happen after when COVID is recover. I'm not sure this, I'm not sure that, or things constant change. Just ask this simple question, and then lastly is that, okay, during that change or during that thing happens, what is your strength? What is your weakness? Okay, what is opportunity? What is your threat? And you ask this question, and somebody, the person who answer, then they will start to critical think about a topic, and then they will identify their risk in their career for the post COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so I'm going to break you all into 5 groups. You go into a group. The time that we're going to give to you is how many minutes? 7 minutes. Is it okay? No. We will give you 7 minutes.
Yes.
I will give you 7 minutes, and then you will have 1 more minute to come back. So what you can do now is join. Please make sure that you wait for us to invite you back. Okay, don't just drop out. We'll invite you back. See you later. The rest not yet joining. Okay, they start to join. No, you just now you also assign me to the group.
Sorry.
No problem.
Can you please do the room as a co-host?
I cannot view the breakout room. Only the host can view it.
I see.
Now we have a few people here. They are not joining. They're still not joining.
Yes.
Okay, more and more going. So you put them 7 minutes and +1, right?
Yes, I've also put my alarm, so I will know when I We'll close all the rooms.
Okay.
Now, 4 more minutes left.
No problem. No. Okay, I can see everybody is coming back. Okay. Okay, great. Welcome back. How is it? Okay, so now I want you all to go back to the Mentimeters. If you all just join, we are using a Mentimeters to do interactions, right? To those who are just joined, go to your Mentimeters. Go to your secondary device. Open a browser. And then the type www.menti.com, and then key in the 1616575, and then you're able to participate our engagement there. So let me share my screen in the Mentimeters. Okay, so everybody go back to the Mentimeters, and we move on to the next questions. Now we are going for the breakout room briefing. So in the Mentimeters, what went well during in the breakout session? What went well for you? What went well when you are in the breakout room together? Yeah, good. Definitely a good note to each other more. What went well? One thing good about asking a lot of questions is that when you ask questions, especially you ask a what questions, you basically able to get a lot more information from your peers, right? Your stakeholders. And that is why the critical questions is very important. As a project managers, you able to get a lot more information. Like example, when you asking what is your concern? That is the question that normally people would like to ask, and that is the thing that the thing that people will tell you what is their main concern. Then when you know that what is their concern, you need to know how this concern going to happen, right? So that is how questions that you want to ask, in what environment that will happen. So that is where the is. Then the last is that what they can do with that, or what there is impact on that. So that's why you can have a good time. So thank you for sharing. Definitely in when you asking a lot of questions, you will get a lot of what went well. Move on to the next one. What is your biggest takeaway when you are in the breakout room, when you asking this kind of question? What is your biggest takeaway? When you're asking questions in the breakout rooms, what is your biggest takeaway? When I say takeaway, I mean that what is something that you learned is important, and when tomorrow you go back to work and you were able to start to use. Situation in another industry, different people have a different condition due to the outbreak. Yes, definitely. Big experience to family. Yep. Internship program. Interesting. What else? What else is your biggest takeaway when you are start to ask this question? Economy. Okay, continue sharing the answer and the result once you're putting in, and I will share the result with Nono, and then maybe Nono can share with all of you. Please continue post. But again, if you have any questions you want to ask me throughout this this topic, please post your question in the Mentimeters. At the bottom, you will see there is a question. There's a question mark. You just need to click on it, and you can type a question to ask me about the topic. So let's go back to the my PowerPoint. Okay, so come back to this this thing. So one thing good about using this this model is that it's a guide for you to identify a risk, especially the risk surrounding you, surrounding your business. If you are doing business, you can ask the same question. If you are doing a project, you also can use it to ask a question for your project. So that is total of 6 domains. And if you are focused on the politics and you ask volatility, you can always ask the strength, the weakness, the opportunity, the threat. And from there, you will identify 4 different types of risk, 2 positive and 2 negative. That is the beauty. And if you continue to ask other 3 environments, you were able to have total of 16 risks. You identify 16 types of risk, which is 8 are positive risks and 8 are the negative risks. And if you move on to the next domain, economy, in this example, then you were able to produce another set of 16 risks. Then you will have a total of 32 risks for you to identify. And if you complete the whole domains and you do the same process all over again, then you will have total of 96 combination of how you ask a question and identify a risk for your project or for your business. That's how you can use this method. Definitely, once you collect all these informations, you will then start to collect it, right? So I call this this approach, this identify VUCA risk approach, I call it a VUCA cube model. Okay, VUCA cube model. Why I call it VUCA cube model is because when you put it into a database, if you put it into an Excel spreadsheet or anything that you want to use it, it will be look something like a cube. Okay, where there is a domain, which normally covered by PASTEL. PASTEL stands for is a acronym for politics, economy, social, technology, legal, and environmental, right? And you will identify the domain. Then you will know what is environment, VUCA, and the lastly is the conditions, SWOT. So this is the cube that you're going to create once you identify all the risks based on these 3 simple process or practice that you can do. Definitely one thing that as a project manager, if you are a project manager or you are part of the project team, when you are doing this exercise, you will put a lot of information into that cube. Okay, you will put a lot of information into cube. The question is that what is the quality of that information? So in a PM book, okay, the Bible of the project management that most of us using, we have a process called a qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. So we need to have a proper analysis and assessment to all the risks, whether is it relevant to your company or to your projects or even to yourself. Then you only need to decide to take action. So how do you take actions? Definitely in the PM books by the PMI or even the ISO 30,000, they normally give you two types of response, right? And people who are study the PMP exam, who already got the PMP exam, you all should know that you have a two type of response in the risk. So one type is a negative response, and another one is a positive risk response. So that is a two type of risk response. But again, this approach is a very two dimensions approach, where it's not really cover the whole VUCA environment. So as a project manager, when you come to the risk, you need to be a little bit more flexible. You need to be more adaptive to a VUCA risk. The reason is that because VUCA itself is unknown. Okay, it itself is a very big topic and nobody know how to control. And since that you don't know how to control the VUCA risk, the best is that you use agility approach. You use an adaptive approach onto your VUCA risk. Then you're able to respond it. So as I recommend, what next is that once you identify once you have learned all this, definitely this slide will be available to Nono, and then you can request a copy from her. What next is that try to practice the VUCA cube model techniques to identify your risk. I know in the PM book they have a couple of ways to identify the risk, but they never talk about the VUCA. I hope that the next PM books, they will start to recognize VUCA and so on and so forth. But try to use a VUCA model to identify your risk. Once you identify your risk, make sure that you perform a meaningful risk analysis and assessment. Okay. Some information that you collect, it may not be meaningful to your stakeholder, may not be meaningful to your projects. So make sure that you perform a meaningful risk analysis and assessment. Then make sure that you develop an adaptive risk response plan, especially for the VUCA risk. Lastly is when you monitoring the VUCA risk, most of you should know that those who have done the PMP, you should know that risk is not just a primary risk. There is also a secondary risk. There is also a residual risk. And because of that, you need to constantly to do the risk analysis, assessment throughout your projects. And how do you do that? Definitely what the PM book has mentioned. I'm not going to say more than that, but for the VUCA, you need to use an agile approach. Okay, you need to do an agile approach for your VUCA. If you constantly to do that, then you were able to identify a risk much faster, and you're able to mitigate or you can exploit the risk easier, and eventually you are able to control. The most important thing is the word control the risk. Definitely all this, if you want to learn in detail, you can always contact Nono. I do have a specific training, 2 days training, basically focused on how do you identify and managing the VUCA risk. So if you want to know more, please do contact Nono, and I'll able to share with you this in the 2-day workshop. Okay. Let me come back to the questions. If you have any questions to ask me, please do share with me in the VUCA. Sorry, in the Menti. Let me go to see the Menti whether I have any questions there. Okay, so far I don't have any questions. I only have a statement. Good transformation for digital. Anyone have any questions? Okay, I'd like to open up for anyone. If you want to unmute, you can ask me a questions.
If you have any question, you can use the Mentimeter or you can ask in the chat box as well. Maybe I may want to see Mentimeter. Ask the questions where pattern you maybe your question I tell you chat box တွေကနေလည်းရိုက်လို့ရပါတယ်။ဟုတ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်လည်းတကယ်လို့စကားပြောချင်တယ်ဆိုရင်လည်း mute button လေးကိုနှိပ်ပြီးတော့ပြောလို့ရပါတယ်။
Okay, you still can ask me a questions. In fact, if you have any more questions, if you think that you want to ask, you can always send a. I think you can send an email to Nono can forward to me, and I can respond from there. Yeah, so that is what you can do for the risk. Okay, and this is something that you can explore further to identify your risk. No, you want to take a group photo first? Can everybody turn on your webcams to see so that we can take a group photos?
Yeah.
Let me stop the sharing.
Take a group photo.
Yeah. Can everybody turn on the videos? Sees everyone smiling. Just continue with. Let's wait for a few more. Finally, to see all of you.
Hi, nice to see you all. Okay, I think the rest are, ready.
Are you ready?
Okay, I will count. Yeah, I will count. 1, 2, 3. Another one more, maybe like samples. 1, 2, 3. Thank you everyone for joining.
Okay, so those who are still okay, thank you for joining. Definitely those who are, how many of you are actually a PMP? Can you show of hand who are actually a PMP holder who want to collect a PDU? Can you give me a thumbs up, at least thumb up? Can you give me a reaction thumb up saying that you need to have a PMP? Okay.
Enya Dora, go
Okay, let me share the screen. So again, as I say that this is a one technical PDU. How can you claim yourself is that you can screenshot this this slide if you want. You just need to log on to the ccrs.pmi.org and log into your name. You use your user ID and password, and you will go to your My PMI, your own PDU's site. Okay. And then you just go to the pull down PDU menu. There's a one menu called PDUs. You just pull it down, and then you will see the report PDUs button. Just click on it. Then you have two sections. One is education, one is giving back. You choose the education, and then you click on course or training. Okay. So once you press on course on training, and then they will give you a form. Okay, it's basically just a form. What you need to do is just that you key in the information. Okay, provider is a Myanmar certified training centers. Course is identified risk in VUCA world. Start date and end date. Start date and complete date is today's date, but because the server system is in US, right? So if you key in today's date, they will not accept you. So what I will advise you is that you do it tomorrow. Okay, you don't do it today. the system will not accept you. Okay, so what you can do is that tomorrow, once you wake up, then you only key in the detail. The URL is optional. You want to put in, you can. You don't want to put in, also can. For the contact person, you can put a no name, and then the email, you put the email address. And then what you can do is that you can just put on the technical, you just put one PDU, and then you submit. And because Myanmar Certified Training Center is REP, right? Normally REP, when you submit, they will not question you. Okay, they will not question you. But in case they don't accept your PDU, which is the chances is very slim, but in case they don't submit, don't accept, what you can do is that I'm not sure whether that you create a website for this event in your company website. I'm not sure whether you
Yes, we have a company website which is mpc.com.mm.
Do you have these events posted in your website? Yes, no?
We post it on our Facebook page, but we
Facebook
can
page.
list it as the event coverage as well. If it is necessary, then we can put in the what happened in the 6 weeks. Then we can put in the event coverage as well.
Oh, okay. I can see the Andreas send us a link called Identify Risk in VUCA World.
Oh yes, there is listed.
Yeah. Okay. Just use that as a website. Put it into the URL, and then you also send. Normally they will just approve. Okay, they will not question anything. Okay. But in case that they do, you can always refer back to Nono, and Nono will help you to settle all the administration issue. Okay, so this is how you how do you collect your PDUs? Yeah, so this is how you connect. So any more questions you want to ask? You can type in the chat box, or you can post it into the Mentimeters. And what I can do is that I will collect all the questions, and then I will send to all of you.
I think there is a 2 question in the Mentimeter.
Is it? Let me check. Oh, there's 3. Okay, let me. Can we all use Menti for free? The question is that the Menti, if it's free, you only can allowed to ask 2 questions. So because I'm frequently use it as engagement tools with my student, with my trainer, with my participants. So normally I subscribe so I can post a lot of questions, as many as I want. Okay. Next questions. For a person who have never done it before, I'm not sure what this question means. Let me share the screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see yours.
Okay. So for a person who have never done it before, do you have any tips? Is it complicated? Is it complicated or take a long time? I assume that do the risk analysis, right? To identify the risk. The question is that are you comfortable asking questions? That is the tips here. Because we are basically we are Asian. We have a bit of Asian culture. When things happen or things are not clear to us, we tend to not to seek clarification. That is our biggest problem that we face in Asia as Asians. So question is that if you are not clear, if you are not sure, as a project manager, we don't assume. Okay, that is always my principle. As a project manager, we shouldn't assume. And if we have something that we don't know, we always go and seek clarity. That is the most important thing as a project manager. So you need to start to learn how to ask critical questions. So just now the example questions that I give is just a few example. But if you know how the cube work, you should be able to ask the more difficult question. Okay, is it going to take long? Practice make perfect. I will just say that the practice make perfect. Believe me, I myself, I take quite some time to learn how to ask questions, especially to learn how to ask questions to the Westerners. And yeah, that's something that you need to learn. I hope that I answered your questions. Let's go to the next questions. The next questions. Okay, in which book this VUCA is explained in detail? Actually, there is a lot of books available outside now in VUCA, because VUCA is not something new. VUCA has been there since in the 90s, and actually he started to get popular about 10 years ago. It started to get popular, especially in the project management environment. For the last 5-6 years, it's actually just getting popular. So there is actually a lot of books. In fact, there is a lot of website available. You can easily Google it for that. So for me, because I was master in project management, right? One of my subject is handling risk, managing risk. So that's where I learned my VUCA from. But there is plenty of books available talking about VUCA. You can easily get it from the from Google, from the website. You can get it from bookstore. Just the one thing that I'm at this moment, so far from based on my experience, is that PMI and even the ISO are not take VUCA as it is. Okay. Reason I have no idea why they are not considered as it is. But it's not available in the PM book yet. So I hope that in the future it will appear. Okay, so you can easily get it from there. I hope that answers your questions. Okay, so one more last question. How often do we do the identify and assess risk? As I say, because we don't know when the risk come from, right? The risk actually can the event can happen anytime throughout the project, from the beginning of the project until after the project. The risk is always there. So as a project managers, we are constantly do the identify and assess the risk from the beginning until the end. For me, personally, for my life, okay, I constantly do identify and assess my own risk based on that. Okay, so I hope that I answered that. I don't have any more question in the Menti. Let's see whether I have any question in chat. Okay, I don't have any question on the chat. If there's no questions, thank you very much. No, pass back to you.
Yes. So thank you everyone for attending, and then we are very appreciate to see you all. So please give us a feedback, and then for the slide, we will be sending to your email. So together with this recording video file and then the feedback, we will send it to your email as well. And for all our webinar, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is like Myanmar Project Management Center. On the YouTube channel, you can look through all the previous webinar, and this webinar video will be up soon as well. So, and then we have an upcoming PMB courses, intensive course, OKR, Agile, and then we have planning to have regarding about the RISK course in the future, near future as well. So stay tuned, and then we will see you again on the next webinar as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you too.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.